Hey YouTube, this next deck profile is going to be one of my favorite decks from Cardfight Vanguard. This one's going to be Shadow Paladin. I've been trying to build this deck for a long time, finally completed it. I have all the cards, so I'm going to show you what I've got. This one's going to be, basically it's the Phantom Blaster Ride Chain. So the starter for that is Fullbau. He's one of the few Shadow Paladin starters that exist. He's one of the better ones, because as soon as you ride the grade 1 on him, you immediately get to search for the grade 2, which is Blaster Dark. So for the rest of the grade 0s, we just have 4 heal, 4 draw, and then a common build of 8 crit. Oops, so that's the grade 0s. For grade 1s, 4 Sentinel, Dark Shield, McLear, just to block, very useful late game, so 4 of those. And then 4 Blaster Javelin, he's the grade 1 for the ride chain. And then this was kind of tough, but 3 Black Sage Charon. Originally I had 4, but I couldn't decide between taking out 8k vanilla or taking out a Sentinel. So in the end I went with 4 Sentinels and 3 8k, mainly because this deck, late game, if you cross ride properly, you're going to be able to hit for around 20k all the time, so you don't really need him. You can use him, or you can even use like a 7k. So I teched in one Witch of Nostrom. She's just one of those rest, discard, and draw. So that replaced the 4th Black Sage for grade 1s. And then I have 2 Gururubau, because like I said, you'll be hitting for 20k a lot if you cross ride, so the 7k boosters, these 3 are fine in the late game. But Gururubau just for a rush. Early game, if you're able to draw into him, he's a good rush your opponent down, get some quick damage in. So for grade 2s, 2 Blaster Dark. We only need 2 because the grade 1 fills the role of the additional grade 2 of the ride chain, because it's an instant search. So Blaster Dark, just 2, so you can fit in more stuff. This deck is really tight on space. It's hard to figure out what to run. Next, 2 Knight of Nullity Masquerade. He is a 12k attacker when you have Blaster as a Vanguard. So yeah, anytime. So basically, he's like the assistant to Blaster Dark. So 2 of him. And then because this deck counterblasts a lot, it relies a lot on counterblasting for their effects, I run 3 Cursed Lancer. He's a 9k. When his attack hits a Vanguard, you can recover 1 of your damage. Turn it, if it's face down, you can turn it back face up, so you can re-counterblast. So I think that's kind of a weakness that this deck has. It relies a lot on that, so I put in 3 of those. And then 2 Darkness Maiden. She's not that useful, I've found, but she does help you pull Black Sage or Witch of Nostrom from the deck behind her, and sets up for a pretty strong, basically she builds a perfect column for you to throw something stronger down later once she either intercepts or she gets retired. And then 2 Skull Witch Nevin. She's kind of like Pot of Greed. She only has 3,000 attacks, so you'll never ride her as a Vanguard, and her effect is only as a rearguard. But she's okay for now. I may drop her to 1. I found the drawing 2 cards is, sometimes it's very useful, sometimes it's not so useful. So that's the grade 2s. For the grade 3s, running 2 Dark Mage Ildona. I'll put him in because if you ever have to ride Ildona, if you already used, let's say, like Skull Witch Nevin or something that's not that good anymore, you can just use it with his effect for his limit break. You can retire the unit. Same thing goes with Phantom Blaster Dragon. I'm running 2 Phantom Blaster Dragon. This is the grade 3 for the ride chain. You only really need 2 of him because you only want him for the cross ride. He's not going to stay as the Vanguard for very long because his effect is not that great. Because you minus a whole lot just to get plus 10,000 and 1 damage, which can easily be blocked by a Sentinel anyway. So he's not that great. So the main reason why he's in is so that we can cross ride him to the main boss of the deck, Phantom Blaster Overlord. This guy, with if you cross ride, he's 13k. So yeah, him plus any 7k is going to be a 20k column. You don't need to rely on Black Sage. That's why I said I decided to run 3 of the Black Sage and 4 of the Sentinel, mainly because of this guy. So that's basically the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks.